Hi there, welcome to this week's show. Today I'm making a broad bean dish. Now if you're not a fan of beans you might not like this, and I think the interesting thing with beans is a lot of people not so much don't like the flavour of beans, but they don't like the mouthfeel, the texture of the beans. I know my sister's one of those. So we do disguise it a little bit because we are going to mash the beans and we're going to add some cream and some lemon juice to it. But if you are not a fan of beans, then you might want to wait and get next week's show. Okay, we're also going to serve this up today with some Parmesan crisps, which are just beautiful. They're just divine. Very quick and easy to make, and literally a 100% protein biscuit, which is great for those of you on low-carb diets. But the other part of it too is some lovely sauteed mushrooms with some other ingredients, including garlic and that in there. This is a nice little snack. You know, if you've got people coming around and you want something a little different to have with drinks, this is great. It's nice to have as a little side dish if you've got a whole bunch of sort of a buffet type meal. And it's also nice to have perhaps in a very small quantity as an entree. So it's got a lot of versatility, and I just particularly liked it because of the combination of ingredients. They really are quite lovely. The other thing is that you can either use canned broad beans or you can use fresh ones, and if they're in season and they're good quality, then fresh will always be better. Unfortunately, I've decided to make this dish when they're not in season, and I can't get hold of them where I live right now, which is in the country anyway, so I have used canned ones. Always think about this with canned ones, and I'll probably reiterate this several times. Canned beans are fantastic. They are usually canned when they're fresh. The quality is always good and the flavour is always fantastic. So don't be misled into believing they must be fresh all of the time, because canned can in fact be very, very good. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go and have a look at the ingredients we need for this recipe. Alright, to make this recipe you'll need broad beans. Now you can either purchase those fresh and you can cook them yourself and shell them, or you can buy them in a can if they're not in season or you can't get them where you live. You'll need some lemon juice, some pouring cream, a little bit of olive oil, some button mushrooms that are either thinly sliced or chopped into wedges, a clove of garlic that's finely chopped, flat leaf parsley, and 1 quantity of Parmesan crisps. Now to make the Parmesan crisps, which I've already got pre-made as you can see, you can go to the website blackbookcooking.com and you'll be able to see a video on how to make those individually. Let's get started. Okay, so the next thing to do is to peel the broad beans, and that's a fairly simple thing to do. Literally just pinch the skin away, throw that away, and put the beans into another bowl. Once they've been cooked to the required amount, this is a fairly easy task, albeit tedious. Okay, so now that our beans are peeled, we're going to mash them, and the easiest way to do that is just with a vegetable masher. If you find that they're just a little bit too difficult to mash, you might want to reheat them a little bit. That generally softens them and it makes it a little easier to do. These are working fine. Canned beans generally are very, very easy to work with. The other thing that I like about canned beans is the convenience of them. If you live in a remote area, although I'm not completely remote, but I am certainly not in a city, in a major city, sometimes we can't always get everything that we want, and fresh beans and fresh produce sometimes is a little difficult. So canned beans I find really, really great for that very reason. The other thing that's good about them is that they are processed literally as soon as they're picked. So a bit like frozen